Right, see that big button that says mute? You give that a press now. There we are. Okay. Beautiful. Right, take 3. Let's go. Okay, we're going for lower body mobility tonight, and again, as always, we usually split this up into 2 sessions, okay, because there's quite a lot to get done. We go as far as we can, but usually it will involve everything below the hips, so quads, hammies, calves, and then we'll get stuck into a bit of the hips as well, and we'll get it as far as we can, okay? So straight away, first one, without further ado, is our ankle stretch, which, again, we should all be pretty familiar with by now, I'd like to think. That's my wall. You don't need a wall. You could have a big solid plant pot or any raised platform that you can simply get your foot up against, wedge it, slight bend in the leg, and then get straight into it, okay? It doesn't need me to break it down into crazy amounts of detail, okay? It's as simple as we're trying to mobilize the actual ankle joint, okay? So think about that. Think about the ankle joint. Where is it? Okay, it's not the calf muscle we're after here, so therefore we have to have a slight bend in the knee. Now, if you're pretty tight on the ankles, you'll struggle to lift the toes up. So in which case I would tell you, lean back a bit, get the toes nice and high up the wall, get the heel, the heel nice and close to the wall, and then a slight bend. And then all I'm doing now is just trying to get up on top of it, okay? Trying to get up on top of it. Get my body weight and push down into it. Now, if your ankles are severely tight, if that ankle joint's pretty knotted up tight, give it a couple of bounces, okay? Just to help you try and ease into it, relax the muscle, because you'll find if it is pretty stiff, that you'll be fighting it a little bit. So I want you to try and make sure that that joint's completely relaxed, all your weight's leaning into it. You might not need to go very far until you get a decent stretch, but make sure, we're going to be holding this for about 3 minutes in total, okay? So make sure that you're trying to proactively go further and further. It's not just a case of holding it where it feels like a good stretch. I want you to try and get further and further and further, okay? So the ankles, they get pretty damn tight. So as you can see, I'm getting up and I'm getting up. You can do this flush against the wall, it doesn't matter now. The most important thing is that your foot feels wedged, okay? Your foot feels wedged so that it allows you to really put a lot of pressure on there. Again, be sensible. It allows you to really go for a good solid stretch without your foot sliding down the wall, okay? So again, footwear's a big deal, but we should know that by now. Again, if you've just got stocking soles, you'll probably find that your foot just slides off. You really need to have that foot wedged so that as it increases this range, okay, there's no sliding off the wall. So you can really go for this one, and it's pretty uncomfortable. But make sure when you do go for it, you just keep every so often maybe trying, just a couple of bounces, 2 to 3 bounces of the joint, just to make sure you're fully relaxed. I think we've got a jumbo jet trying to land on the building. Right, good, keep it going. Last 30 seconds. This is where I want you to really try and push through. Keep that knee bent. Try and bend the knee even more. You'll find that you enhance the stretch all the more. Okay, pretty simple stretch, as in there's not a lot of detail. It's pretty obvious what we're trying to do here, okay? And I'm going to slowly ease out of that, and I'm going to walk around. I'm going to walk around and just let the blood flow back into that joint. Give it a wee sugar if you like. A few rotations round. Good. Great, right, into the next side. So, simple as, again, I'll talk you through it. Rather than just put your toes on the wall and go for it there, you really need to have that foot elevated high up in the wall. The purpose being, again, I like this keg, okay, because it weighs a good whack. It's not going to move, and it really allows me to wedge my foot on there. So my foot's wedged, it's not going anywhere. But you should be able to achieve the same thing with anything up against the wall, okay, is absolutely fine. Now, left side here for me now is feeling pretty tight. It's feeling a lot tighter than the right. I'm not alarmed, it happens. But all I'm saying here is I'm finding it hard to feel like I'm getting a stretch in the ankle joint at this moment in time because it's pretty knotted up tight. So if you are feeling pretty tight, this is probably going to relate to you. Now, for the first part, I'm trying to take it further and further and further, but I can feel that that joint's not quite relaxed, and I know it's not because I'm not really feeling I'm getting much of a stretch. I'm feeling it all quite knotted up. So again, I'm holding it as far as I can take it. Get a few bounces in there and just try to open up a bit of range and try and help that joint just completely relax. And then eventually, as you start to get up on top of it, you'll find it does just start to kind of free up a little bit, okay? And then hopefully you're getting a good stretch sensation. Now again, what's important, these stretches are all pretty simple. I talk all the way through them because I hope that you know, I might just say something that might just make you get into an even better position or get something from it or clear it up for you. Okay, so I'm always trying to keep that knee bent, slightly soft. You can try to bend the knee more. If you feel you're at the limit of that stretch, okay, and you might struggle to get closer to the wall, try and push the knee forward, okay? You'll probably feel it, well, you won't probably feel it, you'll feel it enhances it all the more. Okay, so again, I'm trying to relax into it at this point because I'm taking it further and further and further. It's getting pretty uncomfortable. But again, it's uncomfortable. It's not painful. Okay, and that's the distinct difference that you need to be able to identify. Good. Good. So it's simple. Simple stuff. Again, mobility, it's not the most exciting and engaging thing that we do, but as you can probably hear in the background, I've got my Spanish tunes on, my Spanish guitar. It's having a wee blast in the background, okay? Just chill out, enjoy yourself, put something on, okay? Or just completely chill out. Chances are though, if you're listening to my voice for an hour, you're not going to be very chilled. Right, we're going to hit the calves because as always, we're hitting those ankles, okay? So the reason we bend the knee is to hit the ankles. Now we're going to get a wee bit further up onto the actual calf, that meatier bit of muscle sitting up the lower leg. Now to do that, we're going to have to get against the wall, okay? It's the same idea as that, except we'll be stretching the leg behind us. So without further ado, get to a wall, and I want you to simply take a big staggered stance, okay? Now the calf that I'm trying to stretch out is the leg behind me here, okay? Now I'm holding on to that wall, and it's going to be a case of you're just going to have to adjust to find the best stretch, and all I'm going to do is simply, in this action, okay, I'm pushing my hips through, and all I'm doing there is trying to take that and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. Now at this point in time, my knee is pretty much locked out, okay? So that leg behind me, the knee is locked out, and I'm going to feel this in the actual calf muscle now. So you're going to feel it higher up the leg. You might still feel it in the ankle joint, depending how tight the ankle joint is, okay? But again, I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to push my heel flush on the ground, and then all I'm doing, again, if you watch me now, is I'm trying to push my hips from here to here to here to here and push through, simply lengthening out that calf muscle. Again, you should be able to feel that calf muscle getting a stretch. Now we keep the knee locked out because if we unlock the knee, that's when we start to take it down onto that ankle joint. In fact, I encourage you right now to unlock the knee. Feel that stretch down on the ankle joint, yep. Then lock it out again and you'll feel it shift back up into the calf. Just so you know, you can still stretch out the lower part of the ankle doing this stretch, okay? I just feel you get a lot more. If you've got your foot wedged into a wall, you'll get a much better stretch, okay? You'll find it easier. Now, this one, again, it's a static hold. It's pretty simple. There's only one way we can go. So on that note, take it further and further and further. Now, like I say, you might need to position your body a little bit. You can see I'm pretty far away from the wall, which is allowing me to use gravity to kind of fall into the wall and really get a good bit of weight against that heel, okay? Against the heel, sorry, into the foot. So I'm feeling a good stretch on the calf muscle. Again, that's where we should be feeling it predominantly. You might still feel it down towards the bottom of your heel, but just make sure that knee is locked out. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling that. Good, and relax, ease out of there. So that's a good one. We don't really attack the calf muscle too much because we do often focus on the actual ankle joint, which is where most people are tight. But certainly with anything that involves a lot of this and runners, people out running, etc., you're finding those calf muscles are going to take a bit of a pounding. So I'm going to change legs. Pretty simple stretch, so crack on. But if you're not quite sure, again, watch me. I'll just break it down on how I get in there. So I'm getting right back, okay? I'm getting a big wide stance with my legs. They're far apart, okay? And then I'm leaning into the wall. And all I'm trying to do, watch my back leg. I'm trying to get that heel down to the ground. That's my first objective. Lock the knee out and then start to shift the weight forwards, okay? It's a simple case of I'm trying to lengthen out that calf muscle, okay? And I do that using the method I just showed you and explained. So there's nothing complicated about it. As always, you're trying to relax, okay? You're trying to relax. It doesn't work if you're tensing up against this. So the whole time you're doing it, imagine, think about the muscle group that you're trying to stretch. I'm trying to push all my weight through the ground on this leg here. Push that heel towards the ground on my left leg, the leg behind me. At the same time, I'm just trying to go completely dead weight into that leg, okay? So I don't want to feel like I'm tensing any of those muscle groups up. Okay, so again, position your body. Look how far away from the wall I am. Okay, I'm really far away. It's letting me get a good stretch. It's letting me really lean. So play around with your position. Just because I'm in this weird position doesn't mean to say it's best for you. You might find a better position. Again, it's all relative. So all I'm ever trying to do with these stretches is try to take it further and further and further, find better ways of doing them, find ways to enhance them. I'm not just holding it and chilling out and you know, having a chit chat with myself, even though that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Good. So that's the calf muscle, okay? Again, that's us going further up, walk out, shake it out, and hopefully that's giving that a good bit. So we're doing everything below the knee to begin with, okay? And we're going to go for we're anterior tibialis now, that old one. Okay, so we're going to get down onto our knees and we're going to stretch out that big muscle that runs up the front. Some people, genetically, you might see it bulging out. It might look like a third calf muscle, second calf muscle. Or other people might not even know it's there. You might not even be able to see it, but if you start poking in there, you'll feel a big meaty muscle next to your shin bone. And that's what we're going to attack now. Again, that gets completely forgotten about, okay? So, all I'm doing, side on, I'm kneeling with my knees hip width apart, okay? So I want to leave room in between my heels from my butt because I'm trying to strive to get beyond there, okay? Otherwise, I just end up sitting like this and sitting on my heels, which, yep, that feels all right, but that's not the point. I want to be able to go further. So have your knees roughly, it really depends on the size of your butt, to be honest. If you've got a big butt, you might need to go a wee bit wider than hip width, but I'll make you feel better because I've got a big butt, okay? So all I'm going to do, if you look at my lower leg here, I'm trying to be able to get the foot, the top of the foot flush on the ground. Okay, oh, here we go. Here we go. Get a bigger screen for goodness sake, Kaya, no, whatever. I'm not using your name because folk will start thinking, well, folk are already thinking that I'm oh, here we go. Oh, it's the sun. Stop moaning. It's a rare occasion we get some sun. Right, okay. Jeez, oh, man. Right, feet are roughly hip width to shoulder width apart. And all I'm doing for the first part is take your time on this one. Really take your time because you'll find it's pretty uncomfortable for a lot of people. If you do this stretch a lot, you'll find it's probably not too bad. But you'll find for a lot of people, it's pretty uncomfortable. So what you have to do is slowly start lowering yourself down into it. Now I've got my arms here. I've still got a bit of weight going into those arms. I'm just slowly easing myself into this one. Okay, now I'm going to go front on. Get onto my mat for goodness sake. So it's important, right, that you take your time with this and you don't hurt yourself. Now, you'll find that this muscle group is pretty tight, yep. So you'll find that you do fight it a lot, and that's what you need to be conscious of. Make sure that your toes are completely relaxed into the ground. The top of that foot is flush on the ground. And like I say, some people might find this all right, but for the vast majority, you'll find this pretty uncomfortable, yep. Now, this is part one. For a lot of people, this will feel all right. Yep, for some people it might be horrible. But now what I'm going to start doing is start walking my upper body back. Okay, so I'm going to go side on again so you can see. Keep holding it, keep holding it, keep holding it. I'm going to start walking my upper body back. The reason for that is I'm going to start putting more weight down onto the foot, which is going to stretch it out all the more, okay? Now, you go back as far as you can while comfortably getting a good stretch here, okay? So I can get right back onto my palms if I like. Making sure you don't lift the hips, because if we lift the hips, we start to bring those quads into the stretch. We don't want to do that yet. So here we are. This is where you actively have to think, right, I'm thinking about my feet. I'm going to completely relax my feet and sink my shins into the ground and just let myself go completely relaxed. It does take a bit of thought, okay? It sounds daft, but this is an uncomfortable stretch for a lot of people. And if it's uncomfortable, you're going to find that you're really driving those toes into the ground to stop you getting into this position. And that's where you just need to think. Again, you can give yourself a couple of bounces if you like, and it might make you identify or make it easier for you to relax into it. But again, it's one of these stretches. There's not a lot to it than you right now in this stretch trying to take it further and further and further. Okay, so all I'm trying to do now is just take it further and really get the weight down onto those feet. Okay, so again, I'm trying. If you look at my ankle here, I'm trying to get that bit flush. I'm trying to get the shin in the front of the foot flush on the ground as best I can and relax. Okay, now this is a really horrible one, especially if you do a lot of running, a lot of pounding on the pavements, etc. You'll find this muscle does get pretty damn tight. So don't forget about this one. What you can do in here is start to lift your hips up. And if you push your hips and squeeze your butt through as if you're trying to do a glute bridge, you'll feel your quads getting a stretch, but that's just for your own information. Ease out of that when you're ready, and then I want you to, I was just showing you that. so you can obviously, if you're doing this stuff in your own time. So get up, walk around, again, let the blood flow back into the joint because they might be a little bit achy now, okay? A little bit achy, kind of normal. Okay, we've just held a horrible stress position, and as always with mobility, we should not be hurting ourselves, we should not be straining anything. But again, we're holding some of these positions, we're really going for it. So it's perfectly normal for you to feel a little bit achy the same way you would after exercise, but deep in the joint kind of achy. Okay, so we are putting strain on the joints, etc. Not negative, not bad strain. But we shouldn't be hobbling about after a mobility class because you've hurt yourself. That's just daft. Right, okay, so we've hit everything below the knee now. We're going to work our way up again. Yep, quads. Not a great deal we can do with the quads with just our body, but again, a very effective stretch is just the classic quad stretch. So I'm going to lean against my imaginary wall here, so I'm nice and close to you. And I'm going to grab my laces. Grab the laces, not the toes. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I've got a good solid grip. Now, it's better if you're against the wall here. Okay, sure. You can stand about and do that, and your balance might be great, and that's fine. If you can do that, but you'll also find that this leg supporting you, it's going to start getting tired, okay? And you're going to start trying to focus on your balance instead of just focusing on the stretch. So it's not a case of, oh, look how cool I am, I can do this without leaning against something like Trisha's doing. I'm only kidding, you are cool. So I don't think she heard me because she's not even reacting, or either that. Yeah, oh, she maybe did. Right, I'm just no funny. Right, so my knees are together. My knees are together. I've got a good grip on my get on with it. And I'm going to push my hips through. Okay, so it's the pushing the hips through that you'll really start to feel the front of that thigh, the quads, the quadriceps, and I'm not going to name each one of them. But that's where you're going to start feeling it, and that's what you have to emphasize on, pushing the hips through. Push the hips through, keep the knees together, and proactively try, don't let your mind wander on this one, because you'll find that you end up just relaxing off of it. You really need to go for this one to make it work. Yep, this is where we could also get resistance bands and stuff involved, but we're keeping it simple. Good stretch, squeeze the butt through, push the butt through always, okay? Because we don't want to arch the back, we want to push the hips through, okay? So again, try and imagine you're at the top of a glute bridge, you're squeezing the butt through, and you should, throughout the duration of this stretch, start to feel it go more and more and more. You're trying to take it further and further. I was so tempted to turn the camera and everything around and go outside tonight, but it was looking dull when I came in. I thought that would just be the thing if it rained. Or next door would turn up. That would just be the thing. Start driving his wee forklift around like he usually does. Good, so I'm going to ease out of that one, okay? Again, simple stretch, nothing complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. I'm going to go to the other side of my trusty keg. Right, okay, so again, same thing. Grab the laces, get the knees together, find your balance. That's where the wall helps. And then push the hips through while keeping the knees together, okay? So don't start doing all this nonsense. Keep your body nice and proud, and again, imagine you're at the top of a glute bridge and you're trying to squeeze the butt through, and that'll help you get that stretch straight away, okay? So it's a combination of pushing the hips through and pulling that foot towards your bum and keeping the knees together. Simple stretch. So again, the quads, big powerful muscle group. Not a lot of ways to stretch them, but you can kind of start to understand the purpose here, can't you? Okay, the quads, the purpose of the quads is to be able to extend the leg out, okay? So to straighten my leg, if I was to straighten my leg now, that's the purpose of your quads. So to stretch them out, to lengthen them out, we go the opposite way, which is what we're doing. And when you think about it, that's kind of what we're doing for most of these stretches, okay? It's as simple as that. We're just trying to lengthen them out, take them further, take them further, take them further, and just make them a bit more supple. And also train your brain that it's okay for them to go that little bit further, because like I say, it's your brain, it's your self-defense mechanism. Your brain tenses up your muscles, contracts your muscles to stop you being able to dislocate, okay? So it's the same with me throwing my arm back. When I throw my arm back, I feel my chest and shoulder contract to stop it going further back. If that never happened, I'd just dislocate my shoulder joint, wouldn't I? But again, if we don't encourage our body through and work through these ranges all the time, our brain forgets our true capabilities, if you like. So we just have to remind it now and again, which is what we're doing. that it's okay, it can go that little bit further. And again, once it knows it can go that little bit further before it has to contract, that's going to translate into you moving better, okay? It's going to be able to increase your range of movement through exercises before they start to go stiff, before your body starts to shift all over the spot. Right, we are going to get into the hamstrings next, okay? So we're slowly working our way up. I'll move my keg out the road and grab yourself a towel or a resistance band. If you've got a resistance band, a good thick one, I've got my green one, a purple one will do. That is if you've bought the kind of universal coloured ones. If you've gone cheap crap off of eBay, chances are it might be the wrong colour. We're after something nice and sturdy, nice and strong. Okay, so classic hamstring stretch, again, just like I say. Purpose of the hamstring, what does it do? It allows us to lift our leg up like so, okay? It's like the leg bicep, okay? It's the leg bicep. Lifts the leg up. So to stretch it out, we go the opposite way. We stretch it out, we straighten out the leg. Okay, but that's not enough. So we get a resistance band or our towel, absolutely fine with a towel. A resistance band will just make it a wee bit easier because you'll be able to lie in less of a stress position. But same point. I'm hooking it around the ball of my foot here, okay? So I'm hooking it around the ball of my foot. Why? Because when I pull this resistance band, which is what I'm doing, or towel, okay? Your towel, your resistance band, whatever you're using, I start to pull the toes towards me. So it's important that you've got those toes relaxed. I'm not trying to fight the resistance band here. I'm not pushing against it. I'm using the resistance band to pull my toes towards me. Now, when I pull my toes towards me, what am I doing? I'm lengthening out all this here, which is attached to here, which is attached to here. So by doing that, I'm lengthening out those muscle groups before I've even got into the stretch. So when I do get into the stretch, I'm going to get a much more better, a much more beneficial stretch than if I didn't. So just be aware, as you start going back, keep the other leg flat on the floor here, okay? So pay attention to that other leg. Keep it flat on the floor. And as I start to go back, if you've got a resistance band, it's no use holding it away here. You want to feel like there's a lot of tension going through it. So you'll often find I end up going up pretty high up towards my toes and pulling from there. Now I'm lying back. Again, now I want you to think about it. I'm on my right leg, I'm stretching out my right leg, so my left leg is completely dead weight in the ground. Now my right leg here, knee is locked out, as you can see. Do not have a slight bend in the knee because you've completely made the stretch too easy. Lock the knee out, yep, get the knee locked out, pull that band down, relax the leg, and then now for the next couple of minutes, I just want you to ever so slightly move the leg further back and back and back, okay? So what I mean by back is I'm starting here maybe, I want you to keep coming this way, keep coming this way, keep coming this way. You're going to hit a point in which you feel you can't go any further, and I want you to hang about there. Relax, focus on your breathing, and constantly trying to take it further, okay? It might feel like you can't take it further, but trust me, you can. You have to be proactive with this one, okay? It's not enough just to hold it where you feel like you're getting a good stretch. We're trying to encourage it further and further and further, and you can really go for it on this one, believe me. So do it, get into it, get stuck into it. Do not ease out of it. Make sure the knee's relaxed, it's locked out as you continue to go back and back. And as you're watching me now, it doesn't look like I'm moving, but I'm actively trying to go further and further and further. So I move it a millimetre or two, hit. Okay, I feel that awful stretch. I focus on my breathing, I try to relax. Eventually my muscle will relax a little bit so I can take it another millimetre, hit. Yep, and you can hear, again I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. You get the point. Okay, you're trying to just go a wee bit further. Every 10, 15, 20 seconds, just try and go a wee bit further. And it can get pretty uncomfortable. But just make sure when you do go further, that knee stays relaxed. Not relaxed, stays locked out. Locked out. So at this point now, you should be at the point in which you feel you can almost not go any further at all, okay? So this is the last bit of the stretch, 10 more seconds. Take it as far as you can. Really go for it. Yep, lengthen it. Horrible, isn't it? But good at the same time. Good, and then I want you to slowly come back out of it, okay? Yep, sit back up. Shake it out, shake your arms out if your arms are tired from holding that band or towel especially, and then get ready to go again. So it's a simple stretch, okay? There's nothing complicated about it at all. So get straight into it, let's get the most of it and make the most of our time. Hook the band or towel around the ball of your foot, try and relax. I'm stretching out my left leg, so my right leg is just completely relaxed into the ground, knees flush. Don't lift that knee off the ground. And then all I'm doing, getting a good solid grip on my resistance band or towel, and I'm just going back until I feel that that hamstring is completely straightened out to the point in which I feel like, oh my word, it's going to snap. Set yourself up, relax into it, okay? Focus on your breathing. Make sure you're not fighting the stretch. Make sure you're not pushing into the towel or band. Focus on your breathing, relax, get that hamstring lengthened, lock the knee out, and then start the process again. Okay, so I'm starting the process, I'm taking it as far as I can. And I'm holding it there. Holding it at the point from which I feel I can't go any further. And again, just be sure that you're not pushing into that band or towel with your toes. Completely relaxed, you should feel like you're pulling it towards you. A wee bit further. Yep, it's pretty uncomfortable. Like I say, remember, you can really go for it, so make sure you do. Good stretch, this one, a very effective stretch. So like I say, you can really go into some uncomfortable places with this one, but try and relax at the same time. It might not feel the most pleasant. Just try to focus on big deep breaths in and out. And that muscle will relax a little bit. Not completely, but it'll relax a little bit. And that's at the point in which you take it a wee bit further. And you just keep repeating that. And that goes for all our stretches. That's the process. Take it to the limit. Relax. You'll feel it ease off a tiny bit. And then you take it further. Take it beyond the limit in which you think is possible. And that's all we're trying to do. Just train my brain. It's okay. You can go this far. Good work. Make sure those knees are locked out for the last phase. This is where we're really going for it now, okay? So you're really trying to take it as far as you can. Again, be sensible, but at the same time, get stuck into it. And slowly ease out of that one. Get up on your feet, get a drink of water if you need it. Shake yourself out, walk around, regulate yourself, let the blood flow. And then we'll get into the remainder. Well done. So hopefully you're feeling better already just from doing that. So hamstrings, yep, they do. They get tight. Quads get used and abused also. So hopefully you're feeling a bit better. Hopefully that's loosened you off. Right, next up, where are we at? Hip flexors, yes, let's do the hip flexors because we're going to get stuck into the hips now. So that's us pretty much done everything below the hips. Now we're going to get stuck into the hips, part one of the hips, okay? Because groin and glutes, that's a separate session altogether. So we're going to get into it. Get yourself a good mat, a decent bench, or sofa, or wall. It doesn't matter, okay? You're just looking for something that you can raise your foot up against. Hip flexor stretch. I'm going to get straight into it so that you can see what you need for the stretch. And all it is a simple case of get that foot raised up against the wall, couch, whatever. Okay, get the knee planted pretty close to that wall. Okay, so you want to make sure that your foot, your knee's fairly close to the wall, bench, sofa, whatever it is you're using. Yep. And you've also got a good, decent mat. If you don't have multiple mats, top tip, common sense, use the mat you've got and just fold it up a good few times until you've got plenty of cushioning under that knee. Or if you're in your living room, grab a cushion, shove it under your knee. It's important that you've got plenty of support for that knee. We don't want to have that knee on a hard bit of flooring. That's not good for us. So, straight away, first part, it really is dependent on where you're tight. Now, I'm going to pretend that I'm really, really tight to show you how this works. So, first position here, I'm feeling a stretch. Yep, you'll feel this anywhere from your knee to up to the hip, okay? So we're really trying to focus on the hip flexors, but your quads might be feeling it real tight as well. So all I'm doing for the first part is, you might feel it already here. And all I'm trying to do and strive for is to get up nice and straight, and just like the quad stretch, remember I was telling you to push your hips through? Same thing here. I'm trying to push my hips through, but if you're really tight, if you come up too soon, you'll find that you're getting pulled off to the side of the leg that you're trying to stretch out, and as a result, your pelvis will be sitting like this. Yep, which is kind of what I'm emphasizing just now. So if that's you, I want you to lean forward again. Try your best to make it feel like those hips, that pelvis is nice and level, and then it's a good idea. See if you put your hands on your waist, try and feel for where your hip bones are. Okay, not your hip bone, no such thing. Your pelvis, feel your pelvis. Try to get it level. Find the point in which you can manage to achieve it being fairly level, and then slowly start to come up, trying to keep it level. Okay, as soon as you start to feel that pressure of it getting pulled off to the side, don't go any further. That's your sticking point. That's the point I want you to try and work through. Okay. Now, if you're fairly mobile, you'll be able to get straight up, push through with the butt, and get straight into getting a good hip flexor stretch, and you'll be wondering what the hell I've just been talking about. But if you're feeling pretty tight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And like I say, it's not good for you to be away up here getting pulled off to the side, okay? You're not going to get a great stretch. Lean forward, ease out of the stretch. Try to find your pelvis. Try to pull it so it's level. Keep your hands on your hip bones so that you know when it starts to move off of being level. And go into the stretch as far as you can to a point in which you feel it might not be level anymore and it starts pulling you, in which case that is your sticking point and that's where I want you to hold. Okay, now when I'm saying holding, okay, I've got that point. I'm continually trying to push through, trying to enhance, and I want you, you'll probably find within the stretch that you can actually get up here with level hips eventually, just by being in the stretch. So we're holding this for a decent bit of time. People with good mobility and you're fairly up vertical with the body and you're pushing through with the hips and you're feeling a good stretch all up the front of that leg, right up to the hip flexor. Your emphasis is on pushing the butt through. Squeeze the butt through, squeeze the glutes, and you'll really be able to feel it. Okay, yes, yes. Now these faces, if these faces start going, I want you to try and, sounds daft. You know I'm not into the whole mindfulness thing, but try and relax, okay? Try and not, okay, I'm not telling you no pain, no gain, because that is actually a load of nonsense. Try to relax, okay? Yes, you've got that discomfort. Identify it in your head. Yep, that's not very pleasant, but try and disconnect from it a wee bit, okay? Try to disconnect from it. It sounds daft, but try not to focus solely on it. Try to completely relax yourself into that discomfort so that you can really go for it. And again, you're not associating this with that, okay? So you're trying to be able to relax, and if we're not fully relaxed, you'll struggle to really go for it. Now we're going to ease out. We've held that one for a wee bit. Damn good stretch, that hip flexor stretch. And like I say, the beauty of it is if you're watching this recorded, hit that pause button if you want to spend a bit longer on it or you want to get into it multiple times. So again, I'm changing legs. Now it's perfectly normal if you feel one leg a bit loose and the other one's a bit tight. Okay, we get imbalances, we always do. But hopefully this is where you start learning about your body. Now straight away I'm showing you. I've got into this position, I've got make sure your knees fairly close to whatever you're using to support your foot. Again, if it's way far away and your shin's more like 45 degrees, you won't feel it the same. So if I go straight into this, straight away when I'm up vertical, I can almost feel like I'm bent in half this way. I'm getting pulled, my pelvis is like this, okay? So that's not what we're wanting, okay? So I come forward, I lean forward, suddenly I feel my pelvis level out. As a good indicator, I put my hands on my pelvis, and then I slowly start to come up vertical, keeping my pelvis level. As soon as I start to feel like my pelvis is starting to get pulled off to that side again, don't go any further. That's your point of work. That's where I'm going to hang out. That's what I'm going to try. Keep my pelvis level as best I can while pushing my hips through, continually trying to take this further and further. And then eventually, even just from holding it during this period of time, you'll find that you'll be able to get up vertical and keep your pelvis level, hopefully. If you're severely tight, that's fine. It's not fine. Do more mobility classes. I'm only kidding. So you're going to find that you're maybe a bit tight, but you might be a bit forward like this and you're getting a hell of a stretch. That's fine, as long as you're again working to that point that you're sticking at and trying to push through it, enhance it while holding that good form, good posture, i.e. don't let that pelvis tilt, then you're going to get better, okay? People with decent mobility, like I'm starting to get there now after holding that for a minute. I've got rid of that tightness that was pulling me off. So now I'm holding a good vertical position. So if that's you, push the butt through. Really push the butt through. Straighten out those hips, okay? We're trying to straighten out this angle here, okay? And go for it. It's as simple as that, okay? Just go for it. Push the butt through. And again, you can really feel a damn good stretch, especially with these foot. this foot being elevated. And that's the difference. You don't need to do this with the foot elevated, but doing it with the foot elevated is far superior, okay? Far superior, as I'm sure you can feel. Again, beauty of it is if you're at home, you can just whack it on the couch and you can shove a cushion underneath. But again, it's just about being creative. Right, I'm going to ease out of this one. So again, I want you to walk around, chill out, shake out, get a sip of water on board. And then we'll get into the rest. Where are we at? Where are we at? That was hip flexor. Right, I tell you what, let's do a vote on live. Vote, you want to get into the hip capsule now? Do you want to do the hip capsule? You don't need to say yes, but if you're happy, do you want to do the hip capsule one? We like the hip capsule one. It's always the one that I explain and explain and explain. Let's get stuck into it then. So the hip capsule one. Every time we do it, I explain it like you've never done it before. If you've done it a good few times, every time I do this, like I say, I feel like I get better at it. I feel I understand more what I'm trying to do. I feel that I can relax better into it. And the biggest tip I'll give you is you have to make sure that your weight is completely dead into the leg that you're trying to stretch out, okay? And if you lose the feel of the stretch in the joint, if you've never done it before, it'll make sense in a minute. If you've never done this one before, we're trying to stretch out the hip capsule, okay? The actual femur, where it connects into the hip, we're trying to prise it out. So it's a very concentrated, isolated mobility exercise. So it's not a stretch as such, it's a mobility drill. So it's a very short range, a very small area in which we're trying to feel it. So get out the mindset of thinking you're going to feel it all over the lower leg. You're not. Right, without further ado, if you know what you're doing, which I'm sure most of you do by now, get into it, go for it. Get the most of the time that we're in this one because it's a good one. If you don't know what we're doing, just listen to me. I'm on all fours. Now, for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm going to be stretching out my right sit hip capsule. So what I'm going to do here is with my left leg, I'm just going to knock it down behind me, straighten it out a wee bit so that all the weight is now into my right leg. So I'm trying to put all my body weight into my right knee. I'm going to position my right hip above my right knee. Yep, again, I'm over-explaining this as if you've never done it before, and hopefully if you have done it and you're not feeling it, this will help get your head in the zone for it. So now what I'm going to do is start to push my pelvis to the right side. So I'm stretching out the right side, all the weight's on my right knee, and I'm just pushing my hips off to the right. I'm not going backwards, I'm not going forwards, I'm just going out to the right. And when I do that, you're going to feel the pressure in your hip joint, okay? So I want you to visualize that bone in the joint, in the socket, and you're trying to prise it out the socket, almost like a crowbar in a door, and you're trying to prise it out, okay? Pop it out. Now, we don't actually want to pop it out. You shouldn't pop it out. Okay, I am not liable if you do. I am, okay? So the first part is finding the feeling of this, and what I mean by that is feeling that right knee is completely relaxed and heavy, and all your body weight is going through that right knee while I'm pushing the hips out to the right, the pelvis out to the right. So straight away now, I'm relaxed, I feel it. So now what I want you to do is continue that relaxed feeling, continue on keeping it there, and slowly start to walk your hands forwards and bring your hips with you at the same time. So all I'm doing, I'm continually trying to push my hips out to the right, and I'm trying to slowly lower my pelvis towards the ground. Now with this, it's so important that you keep all the weight relaxed and dead through that right knee. Because if you don't, you'll lose the feeling. So as you start to straighten out the hips and slowly, and again you can see this is slow, this is happening slow. As I do that, I'm continually trying to pop that femur out the joint. If you lose that sensation, that stretch in the hip, it's because you're not relaxed anymore, I guarantee you. Always, okay, you can see with my left leg, the leg I'm not stretching out, I've just got it in a really weird position. I hate to imagine what I look like. But I've got it sitting pretty much on top of my right leg, okay, so that I can ensure that there's no weight going into my left leg whatsoever. It's all on the side that I'm trying to stretch out. Now, as you can see, it doesn't even look like I'm moving, it's so slow. Eventually, I'm down there. Eventually, I'm feeling a damn good stretch in at that hip joint. And like I say, it's a very isolated and concentrated stretch, okay? This is more of a mobility exercise drill. So once I've got myself completely straight, I can't go anywhere else now. I'm going to come back up, okay? And I'm continually pushing up. So this is where, now that I've done one descent, I have to keep all that weight relaxed, okay? If you fight it at all, once you've done one descent nice and slow, that's when you can really just start going for it and turn this into a mobility drill, okay? So all I'm doing now is going backwards and forwards. I'm going back up. Continually trying to pop that femur out, and you should be able to maintain that feeling. And this is where the more you practice this, the better you'll get. But I'm trying to move through this full range up and down, continually feeling like I'm just opening up that hip capsule, okay, which is exactly what I'm doing. All those little joints in the hip joint, did I say joints? All those little muscles, tendons, ligaments in that joint, okay, we're just trying to mobilize them all, free up any tightness, okay, and again, I'm just moving through a full range of movement. Now I'm done. Now I'm going to change legs, but before we do that, again, I want you to stand up because sometimes it feels like you're not quite sure what the hell you're doing. If you've done that effectively, you might feel a bit lopsided because the side that you've just stretched all of a sudden feels really loose, really lubricated, okay, like a well-oiled machine, and when you squat, you might feel like one leg, the leg you've just stretched is really freely moving, and the other one isn't. That's how you know if you've done it right. You'll feel a difference. You'll feel a difference straight off the bat when you stand up, the side that you've done compared to the side you've not done. First time you've done it, play around with it. Again, you've got to really focus on relaxing into it and positioning your body in the best position you possibly can for it. It requires a good bit of thought and concentration throughout, okay? So the more you do this, the better you'll get at it once you start to understand what we're trying to do. Now I'm on all fours this time, I'm going for the left hip, okay? So if you've done the other way around, again, just opposite everything I say. All I want to do first part is make sure that my hip is directly above the knee, okay? So I'm doing this one facing you now. The right leg, I'm just going to knock it back and straight, just put it and I'll tuck it away somewhere, okay? Tuck it away somewhere at a sight. And just, you should feel like all the weight's going into that left leg now. Now, if you pay attention to my hips, because I'm front on now, you should be able to see the angle. I'm trying to push my hips out to the side, okay? I'm trying to push my hips out to the side. So I'm going. Again, it might take a wee while just to playing around with that position to get the feeling that we're after and make sure that you're not fighting it, okay? So the first part, we're not even trying to go forward. We're just trying to get the best stretch we possibly can. Simply by putting all my weight into my left leg, pushing my pelvis out to the left, while making sure that the right leg isn't in contact with the ground. I'm completely relaxed with all my body weight pretty much going onto that left knee. But you have to be relaxed. If it's feeling pretty tight, again, just like any other stretch, you'll find you fight it a wee bit. So what am I doing here? I'm trying to pop that femur out the joint, everybody. Yep. But I have to wait until I'm completely relaxed into it. Once you feel, yep, I'm relaxed, which I am now. Takes a wee while to get there. All the weight's on my left knee. I'm pushing that pelvis out to the left as far as I can, and I'm feeling it. It's good. Once I've got that and I've achieved that, I'm going to start slowly working it forward now at a very slow pace. Now, if you go forward and at any point you lose that, it's because you've pushed that left knee into the ground. Trust me on it. If you lose that stretch and you're pushing the pelvis out to the left and you lose it, it's probably because it's maybe even a little bit uncomfortable for your knee, so you've pushed the knee into the ground a wee bit to try and take the pressure off, and as a result, those muscles in the hip are not relaxed anymore, okay? So if you do lose it, just move it back a wee bit, find it again, and then continue. And again, you can't even see me move because I'm moving so slow, but eventually I'll be completely straight, okay? And I'll feel like I'm getting a good damn stretch in at that hip capsule. I keep saying capsule, but that's exactly what it is, okay? It's right in that joint that I'm after. A very concentrated movement. It's not a big muscle group, it's the joint itself I'm trying to mobilize and everything connected to it. Okay, so again, once you get to that point where your left leg's pretty much locked out straight and I'm completely relaxed, again, you're going to be folding yourself into weird positions to try and take this further. Now that I'm straightened out, I'm going to come back up. As I come back up, just try your best not to tense that knee up. Keep the knee completely relaxed, okay? Keep all the weight, dead weight through your left knee. If you lose the feel of it again, it's because you've not relaxed. I'm coming up and I'm going further back, as far back as you like. Again, just wherever you feel it. And then I'm coming back down. push the femur out to the left, push the hips out to the left. And if you get it right, and this is where with practice, you'll understand exactly what you need to do to keep the feel of it. And that's where I can go a wee bit quicker now, because I've done it a few times. And I just know at any point moving forward or backwards, I'll lose it, because sometimes when you're rolling on the knee, if your mat's not the best like mine, it'll be a wee bit uncomfortable. So you'll find that you wince a wee bit and you don't quite put all the weight through the knee. And as a result, you lose that feeling of relaxed. And you'll lose the feeling in the hip joint that we're trying to get out. So again, you go for it in your own time, you work this one. And again, if you're watching it recorded and you're not quite sure or you want to spend a bit longer, just pause and go again, okay? But again, I always say it, I keep saying it over and over again every time we do it. That'll do you there. It's very limited on what we're trying to do. It's a very it's a very concentrated area. It's a small area. It's the actual capsule, the joint we're after, okay? And again, we've got a lot of tightness within that. All those little muscles in there get forgotten about, they get knotted up tight. So if they're not working well, if they're knotted up tight, and we're stretching out our quads, we're groin and everything, okay, but yet the actual joint itself isn't moving freely, okay, you're going to have problems, aren't you? Straight away we're going to have limitation. So that's a good one. Hopefully you feel it. You should feel it to some degree. The more you do it, the better you get at it, the more you'll get from it, okay? And it feels straight away like you've really loosened up those hips a little bit, almost like you've got a brand new hip or two, right? Okay, so where does that leave us? We've gone on to the hips. Jeez, we've kind of flown through it a wee bit here. I tell you what, on live, yeah, we're done. We're on live, we've got 5 minutes. Let's give it to the audience. Audience participation now, please. If there's a particular one you would like to do in and around this area, please let me know. Bear in mind, I don't really want glutes or groin because that's a session for itself. So if there's any that you think, oh, I want to do that one because that's a good one, then please fire it at me now. You just want away, don't you? Right. We'll call it a day. We'll call it a day. You're too late. You're too late, Leslie. Too late now. Okay. Right, well done, everybody. That is it. Good work. Good work. I say good work. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you got something from it. And again, as always, this stuff goes hand in hand with what we're doing with the circuit. So please invest that time and do it properly. Because I'm sure that those of you who are doing it, you're starting to feel a continued benefit. You're starting to feel yourself getting better at them. You're starting to find your range of movements increasing. Biggest thing for me, and the biggest giveaway on the fact that my mobility is improving from doing all this, and again, I'm not just trying to sell it to you, is when we do the warm-ups for the circuit, it doesn't take me anywhere near as long to get myself mobile, okay? When we're doing, for example, see when we're doing those mobility squats, when we're just trying to loosen off, usually that would take me ages to be able to get them loosened off, especially if I had been training and my legs were heavy. But I find no matter how sore, tired, or whatever my legs are, I'm feeling that I'm getting into that squat a bit quicker and a bit sooner. So again, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm sure if you're doing it yourself and you're continually, like I say, just like the classes, the fitness, you're trying to just push yourself a wee bit further, trying to take it a wee bit further each time. Realise that it is a process. Realise that a lot of these mobility exercises that we do are tough. And if your mobility is not great, just like your fitness, you have to work towards being able to do it the full way, okay? So just keep chipping away at it and you should be getting better. 100% you should be getting better. Small increments better, okay? You shouldn't be going from like not being able to do something to the next week you're going to be able to do it because that's unrealistic. But each time you should think, right, oh, you know what? I'm getting just a wee bit better. Again, if you've trained hard that day before and that part of your body's real tight and real tired, sure, it might not be as good as it was last time you done it when it was fresh. Again, I would like to think that's common sense. But over the space of time, as a whole, you should be getting better. You should feel yourself getting a lot into these positions a lot easier and a lot sooner. Thank you very much for coming. It feels like it's Friday night, but it's Thursday night. It almost feels like it's the weekend, but what difference does that make? Thank you very much, and enjoy your day off, Tomorrow. I know I will.